Okay, here's something I gotta tell you guys. No one will believe me, but you gotta listen, okay? I think that Knuckles Chaotix' soundtrack influenced Sonic the Hedgehog 4's soundtrack. Don't believe me? Listen to this. Well, enough conspiracy theories for today. Let's get right on it, shall we? I got a good episode for you. For the Ace Stories, issues 54 to 58, we have Beware Predicto, The Great Escape, parts 1 and 2, and The Rampage of the Mechanic, or Mechanic. I'm gonna say Mechanic. And we got parts 2 through 6 of Knuckles Chaotix, Total Chaotix. Alright, let's do this. This is some high detailed art. It is... There is no reason for it to be so high detailed, but man, I am just glad it is. Thank you, Casanovas and John M. Burns. With your inspiration and my technology, Doctor, we have created the ultimate trooper. Bring it to life, Grimer, now! Grimer has created a new kind of super badnik, one which has absorbed all the information about Sonic and the Freedom Fighters. A robot designed to predict their every move, and therefore has been named Predicto. Predicto has a 98% possibility that Sonic is in the Mushroom Valley on the floating island. Meanwhile, Sonic and the rest of the gang are trying to convince Knuckles once again to join the Freedom Fighters outright, instead of just hosting the refugees. You're not jealous of Knuckles, are you, Sonic? Says Amy. I'm the coolest guy on Mobius. Why should I be jealous? A bit of teen arrogance from Sonic the Hedgehog there. Very important to remember, he's not a prick for the sake of being a prick. He's a prick because he's a teenager. And this is as written by the writers. When out of the bushes and shrubbery and other things, probably the fungi, it Predicto. Action at last. He calculates an 89% he tried a super spin attack. A 97% chance of Tails attacking from above. 86% possibility of Johnny Lightfoot and Porker Lewis attempting a pincer maneuver from the rear. 99% certainty that Amy Rose tries to defend Sonic from assault. The Predicto cannot be out-predicted. Predict this. Vadunk. He already did. He's about to squash Sonic with a rock, but he also predicts that Knuckles would have appeared from the ground. Predicto is literally unstoppable, unbeatable. You can't outmaneuver him. So Sonic, he gives up. You can predict every move I make. I can't beat you. I give up. Simply destroy me.
Sonic can't give up. It's not in his character profile. This contradicts the prediction. It does not compute. It does not...
Kablamo! Predicto explodes because Sonic acting out of character simply destroys the prediction software. Fun fact, by the way, because AI uses patterns to determine, stuff like that, real-life AI that has been designed to identify incoming troopers and soldiers and Marines and stuff got beaten out by Marines just acting in unpredictable ways, like doing somersaults or hiding as a tree and hiding in a cardboard box a la Metal Gear Solid, reportedly all giggling all the time. Stuff like that means that AI cannot truly predict things if it hasn't been trained to predict them. That's a fun little tidbit of real life out there. So, the Freedom Fighters and Knuckles are saved. Knuckles says, "Get off my sodding island, you utter sods," because every time they come here, something gets trashed. Let's bring it up to The Great Escape Part 1. In the Metropolis Zone, Dr. Robotnik has a new headquarters, Citadel Robotnik. It's a bit vain in his design. Generals Rust and Bucket. Get it? Like Rust Bucket. Generals Rust and Bucket arrived to Dr. Robotnik to inform him that Emerald Hill Zone has been completely deserted. Remember in the previous video where the entire zone was evacuated onto the floating island? Yeah, that one. Well, Robotnik doesn't like hearing those words and just clonks the generals onto their metal heads. Receptionik, call the caretaker's apartment and tell them to bring a couple of large bin bags.
At once, sir.
Meanwhile, a traveling circus has arrived at the border checkpoint for the Metropolis Zone. Basically, they're just getting held up by the toll road. They have no records or ID. One magician, Bob Peaky, offers to show a magic trick. A disappearing penguin. And an appearing hedgehog. 3 destroyed badniks, yet Porker Lewis says that they probably could have tricked them to get through, which would have been, more inconspicuous. However, they cite a badnik processing facility somewhere on the outskirts of the Metropolis Zone. So obviously they go to head in. There's apparently 35 Emerald Hill folk still inside, ones who were not fortunate enough to escape from the zone. They're all in pajamas. That's a bit on the nose, don't you think? A crocodile is the operator of this facility. He stops one person from fleeing, the alarm goes off, and he tells the badniks to stay where they are. Somehow, I guess he figured out that the badniks were actually complete disguises. Here's an observation. Have you noticed that in Sonic the Comic, Amy Rose seems to wear different outfits on occasion? Like right now she's wearing a purple shirt and a yellow floral dress. She's never worn anything like that in both the American comics and the games at the time. And it'll still be a few years off until her famous red dress. Anyway, the Freedom Fighters are surrounded. Sonic gets 2. Johnny Lightfoot gets 2 with his bow staff. And Amy gets 3 with a cool ricochet shot. Porker Lewis and Tails are setting up something in a small room off to the side. Sonic makes sure to give the Commandant, or something, whatever, the Crocodont, a visit. Ties him up with his own slave whip. He runs all the prisoners off to the side room that they were operating out of. They were saying something in there. Ha! You think you can escape by going in there? You fools! That's a broom cupboard! Hey, come to think of it, how can all of those prisoners fit into that small room? Where is everyone? Oh, what is that? It's called a star post, ugly. That's right, they're escaping them through the special stages from the star posts. Cheeky, but quite good for an escape plan. Crocodile tries the whip again, but gets tied up once again. And this time he's made a spinning top. All the refugees are taken to the floating island once again to head to the Mushroom Valley refugee camp. While Sonic uses the container that the star post came in as a rocket escape. Dr. Robotnik will soon find out where the Emerald Hill folk have gone. And now, a story by Lou Stringer, but drawn by Nigel Kitching and John Burns. It's the Rampage of the Mechanic, or Mechanic. I'm still going with Mechanic. Dr. Robotnik and Grimer took time out of their busy schedules to visit Emerald Hill, completely abandoned. Dr. Robotnik decides to cheer himself up by destroying some other zones. Here is the Stone Tower Zone, which has not appeared in any games that I'm aware of. Actually, hold on, I'm gonna check. I just checked. The Stone Tower Zone only exists in these comics. It's not even like one that was in like one of the obscure Game Gear games, I guess. Anyway, it's home to people that live inside rock formations. Generally ignored and generally a safe place because Robotnik likes to destroy nice greenery. But he shall ignore it no longer, because it's Mechagodzilla. Yeah, that's one big bannock alright, and I'm just the dude to take it down. Ding! He didn't even dent the armor. It is giant and unstoppable. Johnny, look out for its tail! Which reminds me, where's that pixel-brained Tails when we need him? He's on his own story. It's not in this video, it'll be in the next video, but he's on his own story. But here comes some backup. It's Short Fuse the Cybernik. 'Cause why not? However, although Short Fuse finds himself quite indestructible, so is the Mechanic. So it's just the unstoppable force meet immovable object. Sonic and Shorty try to do a tag team attack, and Short Fuse is turned into a fireball. If Sonic doesn't get out of this soon, he's gonna be one hot hog. Like hot dog, but hedgehog. Oh, you try and do better, Jokes. Good news, Short Fuse is still alive. Robotnik built him to last. Which is good because that gets Sonic out of a fiery situation. Like I said, you do better. The entire thing seems to be nigh indestructible. However, Amy was able to get a firebolt between his armor plating earlier, but it's otherwise invincible from the outside, but not the inside. Sonic has a plan. Shoot all the fire beams into a concentrated blast. This won't melt it, but it'll definitely weaken the structural integrity, cause that's how heat works. Sonic is able to smash a hole inside the beast. This allows him to destroy from the inside, unplugging everything that probably seems important. Maybe even a few nuts and cogs too. Up, and there it goes. It falls apart. Hey, no matter how big they are, bandits always get bad vibes when I'm around. Yeah, you help too. Ooh, back in Citadel Robotnik, he's far from happy. But perhaps a change in tactics. Perhaps Dr. Robotnik's new project will prevail. Project Brutus. Tu, Brute. Well, now for the final story of today, the B stories. Thank God I don't have to do a whole nother thing of C stories. It is Total Chaotix, parts 2 onwards. The Special Zone. When Dr. Robotnik moved his base of operations to the Metropolis Zone, most people thought that his old egg fortress was left destroyed. They were.
Positive fix on subject accomplished. Acknowledged. Proceed to interception point and effect capture.
Here we have the Chaotix and the omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent, possibly omnisexual Omniviewer. Here's an introduction. It's Maiti the Armadillo. Yes, that's how it's spelt in the original Japanese game guide. You can clearly tell he's a recolor of Sonic, because he has that Richard Elson-like big frown. Up next, it's Charmy Bee, which they're spelling with E's for some reason. Here's the thing, Charmy Bee has a stinger, and, only female bees have stingers. The all-male drones do not have stingers. And Charmy Bee is a boy. Charmy Bee is trans-mask now. It's Espio the Chameleon, who I originally think was meant to be the leader of the Chaotix before they chose Vector. Because, he's the first character you meet in Knuckles Chaotix. He's the first one listed on the level cards, and originally the title screen said featuring Espio the Chameleon, not featuring Knuckles the Enchilada. Also, he was the one chosen to appear in Sonic the Fighters / Sonic Championship. So I think he was originally the leader before they went with Vector. Speaking of Vector, it's Victor the Crocodile. Now, the Japanese manual makes him out to be like a devoutly religious man, and I choose to believe he is a Christian denomination. I was originally going with Catholic, but I went around with some friends, and he could actually be any sort of Christian denomination. Even Mormon.
God be with you.
And lastly, Knack. Whoops, looks like the Omniviewer decided to check up, and he has verified that Knuckles was duped by Robotnik, after Knuckles managed to beat them all. Still, he can hold his own in his fight against the Chaotix. Uh-oh, looks like the Omniviewer's getting acne. That's not acne. Something is going through the Omniviewer. It's something on the other side. It's the Metallics, and there's 2 of them.
Initiating grabbing sequence. Now. File transfer successful. Acknowledged. Exiting program immediately.
Oh no, the Metallics have stolen the Omniviewer. The best way to traverse the Special Zone. Knack the Weasel / Fang the Sniper / one time in a magazine, Jet. I think Jet Gerbo would be a great name, but Jet is already used. He accuses Knuckles of luring the Metallics to their position. He doesn't trust them. Knuckles asks where would the Metallics take the Omniviewer to in this zone?
By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down. Yea, we wept. when we remembered Zion.
That must be it. Let's roll. The Metallics have taken the Omniviewer to one bigger Metallics located in the old egg base. The big one appears to be some sort of emperor. Knuckles and the Chaotix managed to locate the egg fortress itself. Step aside, my E.T. is gonna knock 'em all in. Whoops, and sets off all the alarms. Dumbass.
Intruders! The group known as the Chaotix and Echidna Knuckles. Deal with them immediately. I obey, Emperor. Clearly, your friends are attempting to rescue you, Omniviewer. Unfortunately, their efforts are doomed to failure.
Good job, Mighty. You set off all the alarms. The group escape into the vents, but not all of them can fit. Knack winds up kicking open a vent, and a Metallic spots where they all are. The Weasel weasels out of the situation, just like a weasel he is, allegedly. The Metallics accepts no surrender, and a single one manages to completely deck the Chaotix, and uses the falling debris to crush them. Now Knuckles is the only one left.
Knuckles, former ally of Dr. Robotnik. Most recent information links him with the destruction of the Death Egg.
That's right, Tinhead. And I want you to remember that name, because it's the last thing you're ever going to hear. I came here to rescue the Omniviewer. Murderer! The Metallics is a fast target. He was meant to be a match for Sonic after all. But while he's maybe a match in speed, he's not a match in strength. Knuckles manages to completely impale him with a goddamn metal girder. It is a blunt weapon. That'll be a very hard kill. Well, looks like the Metallics are dead, and Knack is still alive. Nope. Mighty managed to lift out the thing, and I stopped using the My E.T. joke because it stopped being funny about a minute ago. Don't worry about the Metallics. Knuckles took care of him, except for the fact that a hole inside a robot doesn't seem to stop him.
Your friends are persisting in their efforts to rescue you, Omniviewer. They cannot hope to succeed. The conversion process is almost complete. Soon I will have access to your power. Then nothing will be able to stop me.
While the Chaotix were fighting the Metallics, Knack managed to find where the Omniviewer is being kept. Right into the lion's den. And he did it on purpose. Hey, don't worry guys. I got a good price for selling you out, right, Emperor?
Do not be concerned, Weasel. You will get what you deserve.
Knack, I can't believe you betrayed us. Why? Money. What else?
We could not have captured the Omniviewer without your help. Knack, you gave us access codes enabling us to break into his systems. Also, you tracked your companions and walked into a trap. Now, however, you are of no further use to us. Destroy them all!
Knack prepared for this little eventuality and got himself a size-expanding gun. Because you can't use an actual gun in comic books for children. So they went with the sci-fi crap. Oh, Knack's dead, but Knuckles manages to nick the gun. Because if Knack was going to use it as an escape plan, he damn well planned for it to work.
Alert! Alert! All systems shutting down.
Oh, Knack's still alive, he's just knocked out. Little traitorous bastard. Vector manages to download the Omniviewer from their systems. There's some memory damage, but he seems to be fully operational. The Omniviewer sends Knuckles back to his floating island, thanks to his instantaneous transportation abilities. But Knuckles has a bad feeling about this. He doesn't think those Metallics were out to serve Dr. Robotnik. It's almost as if they were trying to serve themselves.
Our plan appears to have succeeded. Our enemies believe us to be destroyed. We can now continue with our plans without further disturbance. With a copy of the Omniviewer, time and space are now ours to control. We can travel anytime, in any time period. The day will soon be here, when the Brotherhood of Metallics rule supreme!
Goddamn, doing that voice killed me. I have no idea how Nicholas Briggs does it. Well, That was something. I was not expecting the Brotherhood of Metallics to appear this early. I thought that we were still waiting for them in the next arc, but then we're like hints and teases. But no, we get to see them in their full force. And next time, for the Sonic A stories, it'll be the Brotherhood of... Wait a minute. What's happening? What's going on? New logo. New Mega Droid. That's weird. And where was I? Oh, that's right. Brotherhood of Metallics.